Welcome to a brand new episode of the Post Game. My name is Davion, and I'm going to give my Saints yearly recap. Everyone knows the New Orleans Saints did not make it to the playoffs. We finished 9-8 on the season. I predicted that we were going to go 10 to 12 wins, but we finished 9-8. So there's a lot, in my opinion, to talk about this season, about what went wrong, what went right. I think I'm going to start with why we didn't make the playoffs. There's two losses in particular to me that really stood out to why we didn't make the playoffs. It's the loss against Green Bay, which I think was 17 to 18. I think Green Bay won it on like a last second field goal, whatever it was. So that loss is one of them. And the loss to the Vikings, who now don't even know who their quarterback is. That's the second loss. Those two losses are, in my opinion, the biggest reason the New Orleans Saints failed to make the playoffs. This season's a failure, and another reason why I think that Dennis Allen should be fired. Now, looking at it now, the Saints took too long to get going. Their offense took too long to start clicking. Too many things had to go wrong first for them to get to the place they wanted to be at the end of the season. Um, 10 to 12 wins is what the prediction was. I predicted that because on paper, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I was 100% sold on Derek Carr going into the season. I thought Derek Carr was going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I thought he was so bad on paper or with results because of how bad the Raiders are, because of how awful their organization is. That's why I thought Derek Carr was taking it up. But in hindsight, it's actually him that's the problem. So, in my opinion, I'm going to talk about what I think we should do this offseason, but it's going to be later down the video. So, looking at that, I think the last 4 weeks of the season, Derek Carr played some of the best football any quarterback has all season long. That is not good enough for me. We have a 17-week season for a reason. You can't play good for 4 of those weeks, and that's it. So I feel like a lot of the blame goes to him. The reason I think Dennis Allen should be fired because a lot of blame should go to him as well. Um, and Pete Carmichael took too long to figure it out. He took too long to figure out how this offense should work. And so I think he should be fired as well. And even Mikey Loomis, why are we every season when we get to the offseason, why are we down 75 to $100 million? Why are we already in debt? It's because of poor like general managership. Like it's poor, like poor contracts, poor decision making. That is why he needs to go. I hate starting the offseason already in a hole. Like it just does not make sense. And people are like, we should trade Marshawn Lattimore, we should trade Alvin Kamara, we should trade Michael Thomas. What are you talking about? People who are saying Saints fans who are saying that we should trade Alvin Kamara are a joke to me. I'm sorry. I'm just not listening to your nonsense. Just not going to listen to what you have to say about this team because obviously you don't understand the heart and soul of the team. So you just go away. Um, but I don't think we should. Those three players, maybe Michael Thomas can get off that list. I don't know. I'll let y'all decide. But those two players, Marshawn Lattimore, Alvin Kamara, um, Chris Olave, Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, those guys are off limits in my opinion. Those are the guys who are off limits. Everybody else can go. Um, Taylor, the cornerback, sorry, I forgot his name. Number one, he should definitely be staying. He's played great this season for us, in my opinion. But looking at the rest, like they can all go. Um, just not the best year, not the best outing for the New Orleans Saints. And so, today we blew out on the last day of the season, we blew out the Atlanta Falcons 48 to 17, which to me, like that helped a little bit. We all hate the Atlanta Falcons. But me living in Charlotte, I hate the Panthers, so because I see them everywhere. So, but anyway, Arthur Smith ranted after the game. Why did you run up the score? Blah 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 blah. Who cares? It's a rivalry. Who cares? But also Arthur Smith just got fired by the time well, I'm recording this video anyway. So Arthur Smith has been fired by the Atlanta Falcons, which is a very interesting move. I think he got fired at like 12:09 a.m. At the start of Black Monday. So good riddance. Who cares? about the Atlanta Falcons. But big one for the Saints to end off the season. But yeah, I mean those losses to the Packers, which would have been a win, and to the Vikings, which should have been a win, those costed us our season. Um, so yeah, I mean, let's just looking at this offseason and what I think we should do. I think we should draft a quarterback. I think we should draft um Penix or Jaden Daniels, whoever's on the board, in my opinion, at that point. Let them sit a year behind Derek Carr. Let Derek Carr stink it up, and then we can throw in a quarterback. That's what I think should happen. I think that's the only option that New Orleans has. And if that doesn't, if that's not reality on draft night, then there will be problems. There will be a season of boycott because it just doesn't make sense how Derek Carr is going to be our future because he's not. He has a $56 million cap hit this year. And then I think we have one more. He's signed a 3-year deal. And he has one more about 50 something million dollars as well. And in my opinion, I'm just not here for it. In that third season, if I don't want him, he shouldn't be a Sam going into that third season. I think we should just convert Taysom Hill to a tight end. He should take up a tight end roster spot, and we should utilize him more often in the offense because I think us using him as a still a quarterback as a roster spot just doesn't make sense because then whenever whenever Derek Carr goes down and Jameis is the starter and then you have to move him, it's just too much, it's too stupid. So in my opinion, I think we should start we should keep Jameis if he wants to stay. Um I think him and Derek Carr can have a quarterback battle in camp, but you're not going to sit somebody you're paying 50 something million dollars to. So he's just going to have to be a third option um, behind the quarterback that we draft. And honestly, it might be time to let Jameis go. It might just be time to let Jameis go. And so that's okay too. Getting him out from under us, not saying he was a bad player, but he wasn't the best. So many people love Jameis. I'm not one of those people. I'm just going to be honest with you. But anyway, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of decisions that have to be made by Mrs. Benson over the next couple of days, over the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, and just up to April. When April comes, the draft needs to be a quarterback in the first round. Personally, we have the 14th or 16th draft pick, so it needs to be a quarterback. But yeah, Saints fans, let me know how you feel about this. Let me know if I got anything right or wrong. Um, I'm excited to see what happens tomorrow. Do I think, I mean, tomorrow's the day if we see Dennis Allen gets fired or not. So I've been your host, Davion. This has been the post game. Let me know how you feel about the Saints.